Hi, everybody, and welcome to show number 3 of Off Track TV Live, coming to you from the Weedsport production studios in Weedsport, New York, along with Dan Kapuscinski. My name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, and Dan, great to be back behind the desk once again.
Certainly is, and it's great to be back into the month of May now. Racetracks are opening all across the state of New York, Shane, and we've got to start keeping an eye on our calendars. We've had a lot of things going on.
We sure have, and of course, appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. We do this every time we have the show. Get us your questions. info@weedsportproductions.com. You can hit me up at NYVoice13 on Twitter, and Dan?
Yep, at Dan_Kapuscinski.
And while you're on Facebook, make sure you like our Facebook page. We've got a great show for you here tonight, jammed packed with a lot of stuff. And Dan, as you mentioned, tracks have opened up here. The calendar turned to May. Tracks opened up in central New York, and it's nice to see that we're finally seeing some dirt track racing.
It certainly is. I just wish that the temperatures would raise up once again, but we'll deal with that as we can. Unfortunately, Shane and I were talking earlier. The news has come down. The races at Brewerton and Fulton Speedway have already been canceled for this weekend. Unfortunately, cold temperatures and a lot of wet weather this week have already put a couple tracks behind the 8 ball.
So make sure you put that on your calendar. A couple of other things to take note of and put on your calendar. We're going to have a test and tune here at the Weedsport Speedway on Sunday, May 16th. Pit gates open at noon, practice at 2 p.m.
That's right.
So first chance for guys and gals to see the racing surface this year.
Absolutely, and that test is open to all divisions competing at Weedsport Speedway this season. And also of note, the grandstands, of course, Shane, will be open and free for spectators. So make sure to come on out. Just have to follow those social distancing guidelines, but we're all going to get to see race cars on track again at Weedsport on May 16th.
And more importantly, not only will we see them on the 16th, we are also going to see them on Sunday, May 30th. For the first time in 2 years, we are going to have our first regular season show. The Heroes Remembered Super DIRTcar Series 100 lap feature event. Dirt Car Sportsmen and CRSA Sprints will also be here.
That's right. It's going to be a packed show. $7,500 to win for that show on Sunday, May 30th. A little bit of a change, Shane. It won't be on the Monday. The Super DIRTcar Series will be going to Lebanon Valley Speedway on May 31st.
And both of those shows are going to be run, I was told, by dirt car officials. Both Weedsport and Lebanon Valley Super Dirt Series races on Memorial Day weekend are a go. So some of the restrictions starting to be lifted here in New York State, where we're going to see fans in the stands.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's what we've been waiting for. It's finally that time.
Speaking of fans in the stands, we had some fans that joined us down at the Bristol Motor Speedway. The Bristol Motor Speedway Throwdown. The big block modifieds, Dan, making their first appearance at the last Great Coliseum, and they did not disappoint.
No, not at all. As you get to see the field here ripping down the back straightaway, Stewart Friesen, we're going to be talking to him in segment 2 of the show coming up here today. He was no doubt, Shane, the man to beat at Bristol on this weekend.
Chad Brockman in the 3 surrenders the spot right there to the high-flying Friesen in the number 44. Tyler Dipple in the number 1 out of Wallkill, New York. He had a spot, but Stewart Friesen started 8th on the grid in this race, and man, he was on a rail.
He certainly was. We can see Mike Mahaney was really ripping early on in this one in that 35 machine, another driver that does well on these high-speed racetracks, but nobody just had anything for Friesen. You can see that car hooking up so well on the outside of the speedway. Very early on in this one, he flew to the lead.
Mike Mahaney had trouble right here, a little sideways, then got caught up behind the slower car, Keith Flack. That cost him a spot as Tim Sears Jr. was able to get by, but on night number 1, it was all Stewart Friesen as he took the win for the inaugural event for the World of Outlaws Throwdown, Bristol Throwdown for the big blocks.
Yep, going into the history book, Shane.
Absolutely. Day number 2, we rained out on Saturday, so we decided to have a matinee big block feature, 40 laps, and again, Mike Mahaney up on the front of the heap had a very good race car with that number 35.
He certainly did. They unloaded very fast at Bristol, and as we could see as the weekend progressed, that was very important. A little bit tricky to pass early on, but as these features wore on, Shane, there were multiple grooves on this racetrack.
Stewart Friesen once again puts the number 44 Hallmark International car up in front. Now he has to navigate traffic, and his time it was Mahaney with a slider off of turn number 2 to reclaim the number 1 spot.
Well, growing up in pavement racing like myself, and you got a lot of these high-speed tracks, lap traffic is certainly key, and a lot of times they're going to be maybe as much as a half second to a second off the pace from the leaders, and that's where this race was won and lost here today.
And you're not seeing things the leader is smoking. That's the 35 of Mahaney. Power steering started to go on his car, and that cost him. as you had to manhandle 2,500 pounds of horsepower, of big block horsepower. That's a tough thing to do.
Manhandle, and at the same time have some finesse, because when the track is fast like this, keeping the wheel as straight as possible, depending on your position on the racetrack, is very important also, and that can be tricky to do if that power steering's fighting at you.
Demetrius Drelos in the 111 made things interesting late in the event, going after Stewart Friesen, but Friesen was that much better in traffic, using that to his advantage.
That's certainly right. Again, we just watched that 44 roll the outside of the racetrack all weekend long, and that's where you needed to be when it came down to lap traffic.
Stewart Friesen made history, winning night number 1, and he sweeps the weekend for the Big Block Modified Super DIRTcar Series at Bristol Motor Speedway. An impressive weekend for him.
Absolutely, and two $10,000 paychecks.
That's right. And speaking of Stewart Friesen, he is going to join us when we return, the driver of the Hallmark International number 52 on the Camping World Truck Series and 44 on the Big Block Series, will be joining us right here on Off Track TV.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans? Yeah, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
Welcome back to Off Track TV here on a beautiful Thursday night in Weedsport, New York, and we hope that it's beautiful where you are too. Dan, we have a very special guest joining us via his cell phone, and want to say hello and welcome the driver of the Hallmark International 52 on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series and the number 44 Big Block Modified, all the way from Lake Norman, North Carolina, Stewart Friesen. Hi, Stu. How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. You are on your way to Darlington, aren't you?
We are. Yeah, we came down today and spent the day at the truck shop. Did some simulator work at TRD for Darlington and Circuit of the Americas, which is in 2 weeks. And yeah, we're on our way to Darlington for Throwback Weekend.
Well, and Stuart, I see on the social media today that you've got a very special throwback truck you're going to bring down tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty excited for this. We got the KW Speed Moonshine on board and the Tim Richmond lookalike throwback. Just a really neat deal. I kind of always thought the throwbacks need to kind of fit the number. So the 25, we flipped that to be the 52, and we can use the same font, the same Folgers scheme. And the guys at Decal Source did a nice job. Everybody at HFR did an awesome job putting it together. And like I said, we're excited. Tim Richmond was my dad's favorite driver, in the '80s, and just a neat deal all the way around.
Stewart Friesen joining us by phone as he makes his way down to Darlington for this week. And Stu, you had a busy week. Let's talk about Bridgeport Tuesday night. The king of the big blocks came up one spot short, but I got to ask, if you had a few more laps, do you think you had anything for Tim Fuller?
That's tough. Fuller, he was good. He was vintage Tim Fuller, for sure. And picked the right tire. He made a pretty good, gamble on the tire and something that's a little bit untypical. He went, a 500 right rear and matched that up with a 300 left rear. So he had our number, early in the event, got up to the front really quickly. And, we were set up for the long haul, and it just didn't get that way. We had a bunch of cautions early, that kind of re-racked and stacked and didn't really let us get the heat in the tires that we needed. But no, the Halmar 44 was good. Tommy Conroy's been doing an excellent job. It was another strong run, a second place. We're not ashamed of that. And running second to Tim Fuller when he's in vintage form is nothing to be ashamed about.
Well, Stu, you've certainly been on and fire in the modified, and of course 2 big wins at Bristol Motor Speedway a week ago. Talk about what it was like to rip that big block around the high banks.
It was unbelievable. For our, Northeast Modifieds to be invited, to do that on that stage was just something that was really, really cool. We did our homework, talked to a lot of my friends that I've met in the late model community the last couple of months and just saw what they did different and tried to adjust accordingly. And fortunate enough, we didn't really have to make too many changes. A little bit of stuff out of the box after the first practice and, a little bit of gearing changes, but, the 44 was fast and we had Bicknell has been awesome, since we switched to them and just great feedback, great customer support, all that. And going to Bristol was kind of par for the course. So we were able to unload pretty strong, make a couple of changes, like I said, and it was a great weekend. We had a lot of speed. We were able to get 2 awesome wins and something that we're really, really proud of.
How important was it to have as much seat time at Bristol as you did through the trucks and the cup starts that you had when you brought the big block modified out?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was, really beneficial. The place is pretty intimidating. Just walking in there and having been there, 5-6 times before. We ran a super late model on pavement or on the concrete there 3 years ago, and that was probably the biggest thing where I really learned how to run the place was in the late model with Justin Ortel, and then we ran the Gary Ballou 112 that day, and just really learned how to race that track. And so going back there with the modified, when we did the truck and the cup car, it was slower. It wasn't like typical Bristol, but the modified on the dirt there was really similar to what the truck races there on the concrete. So that speed ratio was very similar, and I think it really did help. Obviously setup stuff is it's just night and day difference, obviously, but having that seat time there, having being around the facility, knowing the way around, I think it was pretty good. You saw Tyler Dipple, was really fast as well, and he's got some laps there in the late model and truck, and I think it helped. I think it was definitely a positive.
And Stu, one thing we heard about on the internet and some of the reading we were doing during the week about being down there at Bristol was potential visibility issues. Talk about that. Was that much of a concern for you due to the banking and the pitch of the roof? Was it as hard to see out of that race car as some folks seem to talk about?
Not really that bad. I spent most of my time, up towards the top side of the banking.
Right.
And you could always see down, so that was good. It was kind of similar to what you have at Lebanon Valley. If you enter low at the valley, and sometimes you can't see all the way to the wall. That right side of the roof kind of buries it. But it was good. The guys raced each other clean. We had 2 awesome clean races, And no, it was cool. So it wasn't really that big of an issue. It wasn't like, having a windshield in front of me and having it covered in mud in the first lap. So the visibility wasn't that bad considering.
What does it mean to you, Stu, to be the first driver in the big block modified ranks to put their name in the history books by winning that first race at Bristol?
Oh, it's just absolutely incredible. Those two Bristol swords that we got rank right up with, Fonda 200 wins and Super Dirt Week and all the crown jewels. Being able to win races at Volusia, Charlotte, now Bristol. It's really really cool. It's great for me personally. It's great for our race team, but it's great for dirt modified racing to be able to showcase our cars on that level. So hopefully we can do it again next year, and hopefully this is just the start of more really cool places to come that we can go race at.
For those watching at home, just saw me give Dan a little bit of a signal that I have a follow-up question to this. Is I need to know, did you get the swords back from Parker yet?
Yes, we did, and we put the covers on them, and we haven't done any jousting as of yet. They are very sharp, and we showed Parker that with some paper, and we did some stuff, but no, he was really really cool with it. He was really excited to have a sword. It was awesome to have him and Jess there, and Parker's awesome. He's 5 years old now. He gets it. He's into racing. He loves it, and it was just cool. So one of these days down the road, maybe we'll do some crazy jousting with the swords or something to that nature. But no, it's neat, and just a really really neat trophy.
Well, Stu, obviously a lot of folks tuning in really love watching you run that big block modified, but also enjoy watching you on the pavement and the truck series as well. I've always kind of wondered from my perspective and seeing all the traveling and up and down races one day to the next, and it's probably a difficult question to answer, but give us a little bit of an idea of what the logistics are like for Stewart Friesen and this race team to do some of the wild things you do, trying to run 3 races in 2 days. You're up and down the road. It's there's got to be a lot involved in that.
There is. I drive for the best guy in the business, Chris Larson, and the whole Halmar International team has just been great the last 5 years, 6 years now, behind me, and allowed me to do some really really cool stuff in racing. So definitely owe it all to them, but it's neat. There's crazy things we do. We've jumped on planes to get back to Fonda and here and there, and it's fun. I pinch myself every day. It's just a great deal. I got great teammates, great guys, and I right now, since before COVID, I usually had a pretty good schedule of like the 3 years racing for Chris. Before that, okay, we have truck stuff, we have modified stuff. Here's how it's going to all lay out, and then COVID hit and everything kind of got crazy. Races were getting penciled in on the NASCAR side as well as the modified side, so we just went week to week. And since that's kind of all we've done. We've just been week to week on scheduling races, whether it's Super DIRTcar Series or the short track Super Series or NASCAR stuff. Now we have a late model that we're going to try to run a little bit. So we just kind of go week to week. So that's all we do. And obviously with Jessica and Parker's going to start kindergarten in Kanjahari in September, so that'll probably slow me down a little bit. But right now it's good. Jess is a racer herself, and that's key to have a wife and a teammate like that gets it, and we're able to do it all together. So it all just kind of works, and I'm really really fortunate to be able to do it.
And Jess coming off a top 5 finish at Fonda this past Saturday night. Got to give her some props for a nice job down there at the Track of Champions. Stu, first 4 races on the Super Dirt Series, 3 wins and a second. You've got some crazy momentum going on right now, and we've got some big races coming up. And you mentioned your schedule and everything. Curious, are we going to see you at Weedsport on the 30th for the Heroes Remembered 100?
Well, we'll see. We got a couple weeks to get through first, but Bridgeport was a big points night for us. So we're not a platinum type driver, but we are the point leaders. So we got to keep plugging with that, and you never know what can happen down the road. Hopefully we can pad enough points, to be there at the end of the year. But we'll see, and then that's the game plan right now.
Well, Stu, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again so everybody can hear this. I think you are an exceptional ambassador to our sport, especially to our brand of big block modified racing in the Northeast racing, and what you've done on the national level representing us as a race fan and somebody involved in motorsports. Thank you for everything that you've done representing us up here in the Northeast.
Well, thank you very much for that, Shane. That's an ultimate compliment coming from the ultimate voice in dirt modified racing. And no, it's great. I love modified racing. That's obviously where both our roots are. You know, the Northeast is strong with car count and fan count. You know, it says a lot about modified racing when we can go race in Florida, North Carolina, Louisiana, Bristol, and that Northeast fan base follows us and comes and races with us. So that's something that I'm proud of to be a part of. It's great. Now with obviously COVID kind of restrictions being lifted and we're getting back to normal. I think that the best is ahead of us for Northeast big block modified racing, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, we're proud to have you a part of it, buddy, and good luck this weekend. Good luck traveling, and be safe in all the traveling you're doing, and look forward to seeing you at a race real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you. Stewart Friesen, ladies and gentlemen, driver of the Hallmar International, number 52 on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series and the Big Block Modifieds, number 44. And for those of you watching at home, you heard Stewart. You didn't get to see him, but you got to see the inner workings with Dan and I, how we communicate.
That's how we really look
other.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Making faces, throwing hand gestures and everything. So you get a little bit of extra treat to see what's going on behind the scenes. Well, we talked about it, but we're going to see about it here in our next segment. We're going to see who was crowned King of the Big Block Modifieds down at the Bridgeport Motorsports Park when we return here on Off Track TV Live.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
The ground-pounding, earth-shaking beast of the Northeast. The Big Block Modified Super DIRTcar Series.
This past Tuesday night, the Super DIRTcar Series Big Block Modifieds picked up their road show and headed down to Swedesboro, New Jersey, home of the Bridgeport Motorsports Park for the king of the big blocks. Jimmy Phelps, who happens to be our boss here at Weedsport, started on the number 1 position and took off like a rocket early on.
He sure did. He looked good in that HBR Racing number 98H as he works there out of corner number 4. Dominic Buffalino, the 126, looked good in this one early on as well. Bridgeport, an awesome facility since they did some of the rework to it. A lot of cars and a lot of fans in the stands.
0.4 of a mile high banked oval right now, and Mad Max McLaughlin in the number 32C, Tim Fuller in that number 19, and Peter Britton in the number 21A flexing their muscles early on as here we see Britton and Fuller in the 19 doing battle.
Yeah, still early on in this one. I saw an interview with Max McLaughlin earlier earlier this week said he thought he might be in trouble when the car fired so good so early on in this one, and he was chasing down Jimmy Phelps early and managed to take the lead as he got the restart on the outside here out of turn 4.
Yeah, Jimmy Phelps went to the bottom for the restart, and Mad Max was able to take the spot away as we watch Fuller in the 19, Stewart Friesen in the 44, Peter Britton in that number 21A, all right there in the top 5. And if you've never been to Bridgeport, I'll tell you what, these restarts are cavalry charge style restarts. They are on the hammer.
It certainly looks that way. And speaking of Friesen, he has done so good in the redraw portion of these events, but I believe in this race he started all the way back in the 11th starting position, had some work to do as you see Tim Fuller finally was able to reel in Max McLaughlin here for the lead just past halfway.
Throws a slider on him off of turn number 4. He's able to grab the number 1 position. And from this point on, Tim Fuller, I'll tell you what, he had himself an exceptional race car. Fuller towed all the way down from Edwards, New York by himself.
No kidding.
No crew, all by his lonesome with the number 19.
Well, like Stewie said, vintage Timmy Fuller. And we saw it at Can-Am about a month or so ago, too. Stewie was just able to take advantage of him there as he does the same to Max McLaughlin here. But, Shane, it was all Tim Fuller as this one closed down.
Tim Fuller out of Edwards, New York in that number 19 machine. A 6-second advantage when the checker flag fell on
Very
Stewart
impressive.
Friesen. It
Very
was
impressive.
And high bank racetracks and the speed Tim Fuller is used to. We've seen him have success at Lebanon Valley. He's also won a couple of features at the Eldora Speedway. So really, it should come as no surprise that Fuller was that good.
Yeah, and, momentum breeds more momentum. We saw how well he ran at Can-Am, how well he's been running all year long, and Fuller is going to be one of those cars you're going to have to keep an eye on every time out with the Super Dirt Series.
We've got some future stars that are going to be doing some racing this year here at the Shortport, the Weedsport Speedway, May 23rd, the first race of the year.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have the Kart Cup coming up at the Kartway on Sunday, May 23rd. It'll be the first big Sunday Series point race that we're going to have. $1,500 in winnings going to be on the line for the Pro Clone 360 class, but we'll also have all of our 8-point divisions. The junior classes will be racing as well. You got to look at the schedule on screen right there. And Shane, one interesting thing for the Kartway this season, we're going to have 3 Thursday night races as well, sprinkled in there too. So we're excited for the upcoming Kartway season.
And something new this year, if you can't make it out to the Kartway, live streaming on weedsportproductions.com. So the Shortport getting some love and some airtime this year, and a great way to watch some of the future racers come up through the ranks.
Well, it certainly is. And there's a lot of folks that love to tune in. We averaged 150 entries at our kart events last season. That's a lot of folks at home that like to keep an eye on things that are happening, and now they can through Weedsport Productions.
We've got more coming your way when we return. Dan and I take your questions here on Off Track TV Live.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
Welcome back to Off Track TV Live. Dan, it's that portion of the show where we get to create some issues and cause some problems and solve all the world's issues.
Exactly.
You ready for this?
We always try our best.
We do. Want to say hello to Hale James and Diamond Jones. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I think I actually have a Diamond Jones record. Love that name. Thanks for tuning in here. All right, Dan, our first question, Coco63. What was the biggest surprise? What was the bigger surprise at Bridgeport? Fuller winning or Friesen not winning?
Well, I mean, I guess I would have to say probably Fuller winning. Just because, and again, like we talked about, it's not really a surprise either because of how well he runs at facilities like that. But you were just expecting Stewart Friesen to kind of continue that role, and seeing him get up to the second spot, I guess it's a catch-22. I'll say Fuller.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up. I mean, Friesen's been the hottest thing on four wheels on the Super DIRTcar Series. 3 wins, a second-place finish through 4 races. Tim Fuller, no surprise to see Fuller run good. So really, it's not a surprise to see either one of those happen.
Yep.
Yeah, in my opinion, but I'm just one bald guy. Edge Putter 5 wants to know, where are you guys going to the races this weekend?
Shane, you go first.
Well, the weather is probably going to keep me home for most of the weekend. With Brewerton and Fulton already pulling the plug, I was going to try and get to one of those this weekend. And Sunday is obviously Mother's Day, and didn't really have any plans except maybe working in the garden and going and seeing Mom. Right. But I think I know the answer to where you're going this weekend.
Yeah. Oswego Speedway doesn't have to worry about being wet. It's paved. So, yeah, I'll be at Oswego Speedway Saturday. They actually moved the racing up 2 hours, start time at 4:30 just because of the cold weather. But I'll be at Oswego Saturday, and then on Mother's Day, unfortunately, because I've been doing so much work in the race garage, I'll be taking some laps at Capper Speedway on Sunday. I got to mow the lawn sometime.
Nice. And hey, good luck Saturday night.
Thank you. I appreciate
good luck
it.
And be safe, and look forward to seeing the results of what goes on up there at Oswego.
We had a good car at practice last week, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Zippy Stardust wants to know, what is the ideal Mother's Day gift? Well, you're married and you have 2 children, so you get this one first.
I'm going to say cooked breakfast. That's the one thing I've been told, that no matter what, I can get on the lawnmower, but I got to cook breakfast first.
Nice. Ideal Mother's Day gift for me is I always do something nice for my mom. I try to get her some gift cards so she can go buy what she wants. That way I don't have to guess, and go over and have some lunch with her and spend the day with Mom. And I know one person in particular in our studio here tonight that I won't mention any names, Brett Moses, that has a very unique gift that he gives his mom for each and every Mother's Day, but that is to help reap the harvest of her flowers.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I do have an idea of a perfect Mother's Day present for my mother that I'm hoping to give to her Saturday night, but I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, that would make a great Mom's Day gift for both your mom and for Liz, by the way.
For sure.
Hey, our next show for Off Track TV Live is coming up on Thursday, June 3rd. We hope you'll join us, but don't forget, we've got a practice session here at the Weedsport Speedway Sunday, the 16th of May, and then we open up the gates for 2021 right here at the port with the Heroes Remembered 100 on the 30th.
It's been over a year, Shane. We got to bring all this stuff back.
Dan, it's always a pleasure to see you, my man. Best of luck this week
Thank
at
you.
Oswego. I hope you kick some butt and see you in victory lane. All right?
Very good. I'm going to try.
And be safe. For all of us here at the Weedsport Speedway, for Dan Kapuscinski, for Brett Moses, and the entire Weedsport production staff, thank you for joining us here on Off Track TV. My name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, and we'll see you at the races.